New at 11, the state's only use prison has faced a lot of criticism. In fact, it's been the epicenter of some pretty serious incidents in recent months. Well, today, a new report highlights how actions of staff and residents at Long Creek Youth Development Center led to the chaos. News Center Maine's Sean Stackhouse has more.
29 pages of review in a report conducted by the Center for Children's Law and Policy. It comes after 7 serious incidents at Long Creek Youth Development Center in August and September, causing $160,000 worth of damage.
We looked at areas where we could find some areas of improvement.
Department of Corrections Commissioner Randall Liberty says COVID-19 played a major role.
It gave the youth a lot of free time, a lot of downtime, and I think some of that led into some of the issues that we saw.
Volunteer services were essentially halted as numerous programs were canceled and visitors were not allowed. The report states boredom was found to be one of the main reasons behind the behavior.
Things like we were putting them to bed too early. There were some things like, having some staffing challenges.
CCLP also found severe and chronic staffing shortages have been toxic to operations at Long Creek, writing, "There are few, if any, additional staff in the units if a disturbance occurs, so unit staff may not be able to expect immediate reinforcements." But it's not just staff at Long Creek causing concern. The report mentions a shortage of mental health clinicians, as well as the lack of no secure psychiatric facility in Maine where youth could go for treatment that is beyond the capacity of clinical staff at Long Creek.
It's challenging to get mental health workers, clinicians, professionals to work in corrections.
Liberty says many of the recommended changes from the report are already being implemented, something CCLP notes too. However, advocates for criminal justice reform say they aren't enough.
I think that the system itself, the philosophy itself, is the failed philosophy, and that for too long, as a state, we have continued to dump money into a failed philosophy.
Maine Inside Out Director of Leadership Development, Joseph Jackson, who has long called for the closure of the facility, says he wants to see a change in perspective for how Maine approaches youth incarceration.
Support young people, be guardians to young people, prepare young people for life outside of state control.
Some changes the DOC hopes to make in the near future. Commissioner Liberty says right now he and his staff are looking at possibly developing smaller 10 to 12 bed youth correction facilities spread out across the state.
And put youth in a smaller residential sort of environment that may be more therapeutic and more successful for their recovery.
Sean Stackhouse, News Center, Maine.
The report details numerous additional issues at Long Creek, as well as recommendations to improve conditions there. You can read the full report on our website and mobile app.